Chris Carr. And Chris, talking about the Sacramento Mile, what's your first memory of the Sacramento Mile? When did you first go there?
Well, I distinctly recall in the early 80s, I'm not sure which year it was, but one of the guys that taught me how to ride a bike as a kid, Alex Jorgensen from Jorgie Cycles in Stockton, went out and won the Sacramento Mile. And the ironic thing was, there's a baseball team in Stockton called the Stockton Oilers, or like a AA or AAA team, and his bike, like many Harleys do, tended to develop an oil leak in the middle of the race, and he pretty much had a slow weep that was causing some vision difficulties for his competitors, but he was able to stretch the thing out and win by, I don't know, 10 bike lengths. So for a guy from Stockton to win in Sacramento, being as close as they are, it was pretty cool to watch one of my heroes growing up be successful near home. Yeah.
So do you remember your first time you ever raced there?
My first trip around Sacramento was the junior class in 1984 on the Ronwood road taxes, and with the long straightaways and the tight corners, and the fact that we were on a 500 single there, we geared the thing to shift, and I mean, I just had a ball. I mean, I think I pretty much waxed the field that night, but it was the first mile I had ever ridden on any motorcycle, and I fell in love with it immediately.
Tell me about 87. 87 was your first mile win. It came at Sacramento, and that was a pretty loaded field, I'm sure, during that time. Do you remember anything about that particular race?
I don't, to be honest with you, because of the celebration afterwards. I was right there at the 21-year-old range, and I was living in Manteca at the time, and I had a lot of friends from school that I had invited up, and we had rented this hotel room and one of them two-story jobs, and I had a feeling going into the week that it was going to be a good week, and ironically it was the first year of the restrictor plate dirt track, and Mert Lawwell was pretty happy with what he had seen preparing for the race. And I do recall having a great night. The bike was working awesome. I smoked them, won by a straightaway for my first national win on a mile near home. And needless to say, the party ensued afterwards, and the rest of the night is pretty foggy.
Yeah.
To this day.
Do you look at Sacramento as, did you look at when you were racing as one of your home races? Since it was
certainly, yeah. I grew up 45 miles from the Sacramento Mile. In all my years, that I competed, it was the closest national ever to where I grew up. It was one of those rare events where I could sleep in my own bed the night before a race, drive up, and get a hotel room for afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
We could have some fun.
Now you're coming back this year as one of the honorees, you and Jay Springsteen. You guys are going to have a fun little match exhibition ride. What are your thoughts about getting back together with Jay and having a little fun?
Well, of all the racers that I've ever raced on the racetrack with, for me, whenever I was behind Jay, I was watching poetry in motion. He was just the most enjoyable guy. He was so loose, he looked like he's having fun every time he rides a motorcycle. Yeah. That's how easy he makes it look. So to be able to relive for a few moments a lot of what I got to experience coming up through the ranks and through our years of racing together is going to be real cool. I look forward to it, and I assure you there'll be a grin on my face the entire time.
Yeah. Now, I mean, are you going to go out there and try to beat him, or is this going to be...
I don't know. We have to discuss this. There's no purse on the line.
Yeah.
I understand what this is all about. I think if we can go out and have fun, we're going to entertain.
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea.
He was telling me he knows how to draft you there.
Yeah, he does. But I know how to draft him too. I've been there back and forth. It's going to be fun either way. And if we have fun, the fans are going to have fun. And that's what it's all about.
All right. Thanks, Chris.